Are you a forward thinker? Then you need an HR and finance platform that thinks like you do. Workday is the AI platform that helps propel your organization, your workforce, and your industry into the future. Workday, moving business forever forward.
Año nuevo, los mismos Extra Value Meals en McDonald's. Ahora te puedes llevar 2 snack wraps y papitas y una bebida mediana por solo $8. Solo por tiempo limitado. Precios y participación pueden variar. Los precios pueden ser más altos en Hawaii, Alaska y California y con entrega.
AdQuick brings modern workflows to out-of-home advertising. From planning to launch, AdQuick makes every step simple and efficient. Brands can activate billboards, transit, and digital screens worldwide with unprecedented speed, all backed by real attribution. Bring your brand into the future with AdQuick.
Welcome back to Infinite Rabbit Hole. I'm your host, Jeremy, and today we have a handful of guests in the house. But before we get to them, you have to listen to us. So you already heard from me. Let's go ahead and hear from the one co-host I have tonight, and that is the beautiful reverse hair on their head, Jeff. You know, I got told the other day, Jeff, that they love the nicknames I come up with for you.
Who's they, first of all?
They. That's all you gotta know.
Oh, okay.
It's just they. It's actually nobody. I said that myself. I just wanted to say that I love the nicknames that I come up with for you.
Gotcha. Because when I say they, I'm talking about lizard people. I feel like when you say they, it's like your imaginary friends.
That's true. It is.
Okay.
But yeah, they really like the nicknames I come up with for you. And today it's reverse hair onto the head guy.
Sick.
Yep, that's you.
Yeah, well, I'm good. I'm great. I'm here.
Do anything fun this weekend, man?
No, not really. I was lazy. I worked all week. It sucked. So yesterday I just sat around. Today I went and saw Mom and Crystal's mom and came home and sat around.
Nice. Well, I went to my boys' soccer game a few towns away. I drastically changed the plans for the new podcast coming out on July 1st. Changed the name, changed the thumbnail, changed literally everything about it all in one day. Yeah, that's all I did.
Sick.
So that's all the updates. We don't have Jake here today. Jake, unfortunately, had to fly out to California to attend a funeral for family. So he's not here, but we wish him the best. But we do have 3 guests in the house. They are the Racine Paranormal Investigators, RPI for short. And we have Ron, Cory, and Arthur. Now, fun story. We actually got in touch with them through a good friend of the show, actually an official member of the show, Skeeter, who is our electronics guy, the guy who saved our asses at UFO days by taking an ancient piece of visual equipment and turning it into passable equipment to make it look like we actually knew what we were doing. So Skeeter has been requesting this for a very long time, pushing me. And we finally got it to happen. Ron and I have been talking, finally made it work. So without further ado, let's start with Ron. Ron, welcome to the Infinite Rabbit Hole, man. How's it going?
Thank you so much. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Thank you so much for having us on here. Special shout out to Skeeter for getting us together. Appreciate that. yeah, it's been something else getting it all ironed out, but I'm glad we were able to get this all worked out.
Yeah, man. It took a minute, but it is what it is. Sometimes these things just aren't the easiest to put together, and believe it or not, this was not the hardest lineup I've ever had to do.
Okay.
I'm telling you, there's been a lot harder in the past. So by any means, this was not that bad. But Ron, before we come back to you and hear a little bit about the story of RPI, let's go ahead and get into your team here. We're going to start off with the first one to show up, which is Arthur. Arthur, how you doing today?
Good. And yourself?
Doing great. Arthur, let's hear just a little bit about who you are and what you bring to the RPI team.
I've been doing paranormal investigating since I was 18, so about close to 40 years now. Got into demonology work through some very famous people. And Ron and I actually connected through a mutual friend. And I kind of like, it's okay for me to say this, Ron. I kind of like nurtured the group, so to speak, to kind of like steer them in a, I mean, there's a lot of talent there. There's a lot of enthusiasm, but it was like at first trying to herd squirrels. And I kind of like focused them in and got them to be a really good team. And they're very good at what they do. I had my own team when I lived in Waukesha for many years. So I still do work with Ron. I do work with the church. They call me, if they got a question about a possible demonic case or possession case or something like that. They have other groups call me for stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of where I sit with this.
Very cool. So you're a demonologist?
Yes.
How did you get into that?
Believe it or not, from Lorraine Warren.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't think we were going to go down this path tonight.
Well, this was like, God, eons ago. I think it had to be close to almost 40 years ago. I was asked to help out on a case. Just back then, it's by word of mouth. There was no internet or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
And they had a bunch of people there. And at that time, I had already been doing investigating for like a couple of years. And the issue I always ran into was people who were supposedly psychic. They were like always giving me the cold shoulder, and I never knew why. So I just thought, okay, they think they're better than everybody else. And lo and behold, she's on this case. And we were taking a break, and I was just sitting there eating my lunch, and she came up to me and sat next to me, and I would give her the time of day. And she goes, I think you don't like me too much. I'm like, to be honest with you, I don't like any psychic. I'm like, they're always giving me the cold shoulder. I'm not assuming that they think they're better than I am or not. And she goes, I know why they're not talking to you and giving you. She goes, I can't read you. She goes, nobody can. And from there, we just started, we had conversations, and she said that, I have a good gift of reading. It's not so much an aura, it's people's energy. And that's like different colors of the spectrum from black to white. And she and a couple other well-known psychics, they kind of like coached me on it. And yeah, that's how I kind of got started with it.
We're going to come back to that because the whole Lorraine and Ed Warren thing is a very interesting thing. I'd like to hear more about your thoughts on Lorraine and Ed and the whole the background there and what your personal thoughts and feelings are on their whole story and everything. But I want to get to Cory here. Because Cory.
Yes. Hi, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good.
So who are you and what do you bring to RPI?
I don't even know why I'm here today. No, I'm just joking.
What?
Well, I've had personal experiences for a long time. Like I was saying before we started the show, like when I lived in Florida, I worked at a violent sexual predators camp in Arcadia, Florida, and that's where I had seen my first shadow figure. And I've always been interested in the paranormal, and I met Ron a few years back, and I wound up bullying my way into the group, and here I am. We've been investigating. I went from, this nervous person not knowing what exactly I was getting into to doing cases and interviews and helping Ron run the show.
Right on. How so like an assistant kind of thing?
Whatever Ron needs me to do, I'm there.
Okay.
I'm one of the squirrels.
Okay.
I'm enthusiastic, and I'm just all over the place. So.
Okay. See, I'm sure Arthur has his way of nurturing. Now, the way Jeff nurtures it involves taking off his shirt, and it's weird. But
mine is more like scolding. You can ask Ron about that.
Yeah.
All right, Ron.
Big
full
brother.
circle, man. Back to you. Give me you're the big guy, right? You're the creator of RPI, the founder, the owner. What is the Racine Paranormal Investigators? Give me the backstory and where you guys are at today.
Back in 2014, I was I'm a mobile DJ, just like Skeeter is, and I was DJing a wedding, and I got ready to load up my van outside of the Masonic Temple here in Racine. And
there you go, Jeff.
And so I was loading my van up, and I got all ready to go. It was like 20 degrees out, freezing, wind chill, God knows what. And got my van, and I didn't have a window. I mean, I didn't have a mirror on the front window, but I had the two mirrors, one on this side, one on that side. So I got ready to back up. So I checked the one mirror like everybody else does, but before they had the TV screens in the consoles. And I looked on the left side, got ready to back up, and I saw this tall man wearing kind of like a fedora hat, all black leather looking trench coat jacket or something. And I saw this individual go from one mirror all the way into the next mirror. And I'm like, what the hell? I almost hit this guy, So I got out, and I went to go look for him. And in Racine, the parking lot from that place to used to be Hope City Church is there's no way this guy could have ran in a trench coat to get to my car, or from my car into this place. So it's like, what the heck? So I saw the lady that runs the place at the time, Wendy Spencer, and she said that, oh, it's probably David. David likes to hang out inside the stuff. Yes, definitely. It was like David, this guy that used to live there. It's probably him hanging out by the stairwell because he likes to do that. So I'm like, oh, okay, that makes me a little worried. So I started doing some research on Facebook, and I found a paranormal page called Racine Paranormal Friends. Some guy ran it. There was no posts recently, so I asked if I could assist and make some posts and ask some questions and this and that. And there was a few of us that are in the that are still in the group. And I was like, hey, what do you guys think about us getting together sometime? So we got together, we met up. Then we started Racine Paranormal Investigators. It was like 5 or 6 of us. And after that, we were busy. We've been busy ever since. It hasn't been too busy lately. Seems like after COVID, things are a little weird, even as far as investigations are concerned. But we've been together since 2014. Almost had a TV show in 2018. We signed the papers and everything to go forward with the show from Rugged Productions out of Los Angeles. They came out from LA, met with us and everything. Everything was set. And then we got ready to do the sizzle reel and they went ahead and canned us. So, yeah, we came really close. So
That's pretty neat, man.
We're active. We're active on social media as much as possible. We also have Wisconsin Paranormal Radio Show that we host. Myself, Arthur, and Katie, which is another founding member. And we brought Ed and Lauren's son-in-law on that show, Tony. So, yeah. So we've been busy.
That's cool.
And we just had our first paranormal conference last year.
So you started off in Racine.
Yeah.
How quick did it take for you to expand outside of that?
Well, we ran into situations where people were moving out of town, such as like Art. And Art was kind of like, well, I mean, I'm up here. I mean, I can help, but I may not be able to go to the investigations. And for me, as him being a mentor, I have no problem with him staying. You know what I mean? And some of the others too that have moved.
Yeah.
Some people have moved and came back. And if I see qualities in somebody, it's very hard for me to let them go, as Cory may know. And
yeah,
I keep them. I try to keep the team intact, even if they're out of town. We have somebody in Madison in our group too. So, but the reason called RPI at the time was because we were kind of staying in our area.
How many investigators do you have on the team now?
We have 16.
16?
Yeah.
And how often would you say you do investigations?
It can range. We've had some months we do 3 at a time in a month, and then all of a sudden completely quiet for a month to 2. It can change very quickly. And then we may go out to different locations, such as we've been to Waverly Hills, down in Kentucky. We've been to the Ohio State Reformatory, Cory and I.
That's cool.
Which was amazing, by the way. Sent you some photos of that Cory had in a video. That was the Shawshank Redemption. It was filmed there. And Air Force One, where the kingpin or whoever it was, the bad guy was coming out of prison. That shot right there was from Ohio State Reformatory. Yep. And then Cory, you've been to
let's see,
Arlington, right? Or not Arlington?
We went to Gettysburg.
Yeah, Gettysburg. Yep.
You're breaking up, Ron.
Let's see here.
Am I?
You are.
Yeah. What you got, AOL over there, Ron?
So here's the pictures that were sent to me. What is this that we're looking at here?
That was just the Ohio State Reformatory. And I can't remember exactly which block it was, but it was just a shot. Right there in front, they had like a pit, like it was like down to a tunnel system. They had it fenced off where you couldn't get up there, and then there was just looking down at the cell blocks. It wasn't actually anything paranormal. It was just.
Was that pit there when the reformatory was active?
I do believe so. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's not good. That's not the code.
I'm sure they had probably a grate or something over it at that time. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. So what's going on here?
No, this was
right here.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, right behind my head. We were at Dobbin Inn. It's a restaurant in Gettysburg. And me and another investigator, my friend Sarah, we went there before we went to Ohio State. And I was taking selfies, and I took a bunch of them, and trying to find one where I looked halfway decent. And in the background, like there was 3 in a row, and this showed up behind me. And I don't know if Ron sent you the other picture. but there was a picture of a figure that was taken by another customer there, and it looked just like there was like an all blackout, like a shadow figure, but you could see that they were in period clothing. It's not one of those, but anyhow, it matched whatever that was behind my head, standing there.
So
what's
going on here?
That's yours, Ron.
Yeah, I thought I sent it. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Here. Yep. Just sent it.
Was that at Shakers, Ron?
Oh, yeah. This
picture
right
here.
here. I just sent that that over. This right here is at Brosman's Bar out.
Whether you bond over streaming binge-worthy videos, watching sports recaps, video gaming, or by unplugging altogether, the 2026 Lincoln Nautilus Hybrid helps keep you connected throughout your journey. Learn more at Lincoln.com. Available connectivity features and functionality vary by model. Package pricing, trials, and term lengths vary by model. Video streaming and games are only available while parked.
It's football season, and you can now get almost anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a running back delivered, but you can get baby back ribs delivered. A strong defense? No. A strong deodorant? Yes. A six-pack of abs? Nope. Six-pack of beer? Yes. Get almost anything for game day delivered with Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Alcohol 21 plus and in select cities. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
Franksville. And what I did was I took my IR light from like a security camera, and just by chance I crossed it over with my handheld camera, and this image came up, and I can't tell if it's like Indian or if it's maybe like a black servant or something or what, but you can see that there's something's there. I don't know. if you look, there's like an Indian's maybe choker kind of thing, some type of garment wearing. But the next photo kind of gives a larger background.
Let me see here.
And I just sent you over the other one, the other photo for Cory. I thought I sent it.
This one here?
Yes, this one here. That was a picture that another customer had taken, and it was a picture of a picture. But that black figure in the center is what they think is haunting that that restaurant, and it just looked so eerily similar to the shadow that was manifesting behind my head. To me, I mean.
So were you sitting at this bar right here? Is this where you were sitting?
Actually, I was sitting like around, just down farther. Yes, I was sitting around in that area. This picture was taken. It was the restaurant's picture that they kept. So I wasn't here during this time. It was one of their evidence pictures, because it is a reported haunted location. And so I had just taken a picture of it, and then just because I thought it was a cool picture, and then I was sitting there taking, like I said, selfies, and all of a sudden that shadow showed up in the third picture behind my head. I mean, take it as you may,
Interesting.
Interesting.
I've only had one experience that you could call paranormal in nature. I haven't really had much in the way of like spirits or ghosts, right? I was on deployment, and there were stories going around of a little girl and a janitor on this hospital ship that I was on, and I shit you not, I'm dead asleep one night, and I feel somebody tug my toe, and I wake up, and I'm like, I mean, guys do weird stuff all the time, right? Trust me, That's not the weirdest thing that's happened to me. But I'm like, y'all need to knock that shit off. And then all of a sudden, this little girl chuckle just rings out in the middle of the barracks. And I was like, that's weird. Really weird. I don't think any of the grown men in the barracks could have done that. It was odd. It's the only thing that I ever had in my life that I can even say came anywhere near a paranormal experience with a spirit or anything like that. So I don't have a lot to compare that to. But of course, we have talked about this kind of stuff plenty of times here on the Infinite Rabbit Hole, and we all have our theories. What are you guys looking at? What are you guys looking at as a possibility when you're investigating this stuff? Like, where are your thoughts at for the answer behind this stuff? What are these things?
Hurt, you want to go into that?
Well, that's a can of worms.
Oh yeah.
Ron knows this. My favorite saying is when you're doing investigations, like the old peeling the onion thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at the logical stuff first. Once you discount that, then you got to start looking at everything else. Because you got to take it one step at a time. You can't go off in 800 different directions. If it's actual physical contact, like with what you had, did you say this was on a ship?
Yeah. It was literally on the bottom level where the male barracks is, the E5 and below barracks of the USNS Comfort, which is the big white hospital ship with the red cross on it.
See, I would like to look at the history of that ship, but being a hospital ship, did they take care of civilians too?
The mission that I was on was a civilian mission.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it could be from a kid that was traumatized on that ship. Not from you guys, but brought on the ship from some kind of trauma or whatever. Maybe passed away during surgery, after surgery, recovery, whatever. Mm-hmm. So she's still lingering there.
So, let's dig because we like to go down little tangents here, right? So what I'm picking up is that you guys are you guys are playing around with the assumption that these things are spirits, as in defined as in the human spirit. That would be the typical definition.
If you can rule out all other rational explanations, that's the next step. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we want to debunk first.
Okay. Cool. Jeff, you got anything?
I mean, I'm not necessarily the paranormal guy. It's not really my thing. I've only actually had one experience. I wouldn't even call it paranormal. It was just more of maybe it was, I don't know. But I'm going to kind of just lean into what I always think with these things is that it is probably either like some demonic or interdimensional entities. That's kind of like where my thought always goes to first when I hear anything about ghosts or paranormal activity, or like jinn of some kind, like some trickster entities, that would like you to think that it's some kind of person's soul or spirit or whatever, but it's really not. That's kind of my gut reaction.
Yeah, so go ahead, Cory.
I'd say, like really with the paranormal, the answer is like yes. Like it could be anything, and it could be, absolutely nothing. We try to come with a scientific approach, but each case is so different. I mean, we could be dealing with something that's just like a timestamp, like it's just a loop. Like this little lady went into the kitchen every day and made coffee, and for whatever reason, it got recorded, and there's still
residual.
You can see them or hear them or something of the same little old lady, 50 years later, going into her kitchen and making a cup of coffee, to where, like, some other entities, is it demonic? I mean, that word is thrown around quite a bit, but, and what is demonic? Is that actually demons from hell, or is it, an evil entity from another dimension, that somehow crossed over? We don't know, and that's what we're trying to find out, and that's what keeps us going, to keep on trying to figure this all out, And the thing is,
Yeah.
to be honest, we probably never will, but man, it's fun trying.
Yeah, no, I chase that all the time too. It's funny because I get asked that quite a bit. Why do you look into this stuff? And I always answer, probably never know the answer to any of this, but just looking into it and having these fun conversations about the possibilities of them, and hearing people's the way that they decipher some of the information and the outcomes that they come up with is fun in its own way. Right. And then you take the way that they've deciphered it and you're like, man, wow, that makes a lot of sense. And it's a connection that you've never made before. And now that you've interpreted that connection and you've injected it into the connections that you've already made on your own, now you can create a new interpretation of the situation and come up with a whole new answer to. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, Jeremy.
No, I was pretty much done. I was just gonna say, it's fun to use other people's tools and to come up with these things, and part of the fun is that a lot of this will never ever be answered, and that's why the Infinite Rabbit Hole is such a fun episode or podcast to do, because all the co-hosts that we've ever had on the show and all the co-hosts that are on the show right now, including Jake, who's not with us tonight, we all have different points of views on things, but yet I can tell you one thing: I've learned things from both Jeff and Jake and all other co-hosts that I've ever had on here that I still use in the way I interpret the unknown. And I've done that with multiple guests and everything, and it's a lot of fun. So Cory, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've literally built this podcast on that same exact premise. I love it.
Can I interject something to your listeners then?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's along that line. Ron has heard me say this a million times. Anybody, I don't care if it's the paranormal world, demonic world, whatever you want to call it, anybody says that they're a professional and they know everything, run from them. Run away fast. I've been doing this for almost 40 years, and I'm the first to admit I don't know everything.
I sometimes I get a little what's the best way to put it? A little passionate about that particular piece, because I hate it. I hate when people are like, I'm a professional Bigfoot hunter. Like, no the fuck you're not.
Right.
Where's your big feet at, man?
Yeah, exactly. And if they say they know everything, like I said, run. Just run from those people.
No, I hate that crap, man. I do. Like, I'm never going to tell you that I'm a professional or anything. I don't have a degree. I love physics. I love it. I love all kinds of good math and science and everything, but I've never been to college for any of it. Actually, I did. I got kicked out. But that's another story. Partied a little too hard. And I would never ever go to anybody and say, I'm a professional. You need to listen to what I gotta say. I think it's absolutely hilarious when people are like, you need to buy my book because I am a professional on this unknown thing that has no answer.
And can't exactly prove.
Right.
It's like, yes.
So just that was just a little tidbit for your listeners in that. Yeah. Someone tells you that, just run.
Yeah,
Don't
bullshit.
take help from them. Don't ask them to help you. Just smile, nod, and walk away.
Speaking of, this is a very good segue. Unless Ron, did you have anything else that you wanted to bring in?
Yeah, I just want to say this, that we go on a caring approach, especially when we're doing home investigations, because we do a lot more of those than going to destination type hauntings or whatnot. So we come in with the attitude of, hey, how can I help you? We referred them to human services on different things. We've got them help, assistance, and when we could. And sometimes they just needed somebody to talk to outside of, what we're doing as far as investigating. We don't come in with the guy named starts with a Z. We don't come in with the whole "come at me, bro" attitude. We come in and say, "Hey, we're here to help."
You're talking about Zach,
Zachary.
Yeah.
So we don't come
Zachary
at the
McDouchebag, that guy.
Yeah, it's funny because I know one of the guys on there,
Yeah.
is a really cool dude, but yeah, we don't do that. We come in caring and whatnot, and then what we do is we do a walkthrough. And Art taught us this is we come in with a passive provoking. Basically, kind of walk around with a Bible, actually read the Bible, and see if there's any reactions to the house. And if there is, then we investigate further. But that's something a little bit more into it. We also do an actual interview with them. Cory and I, a lot of times what we'll do is we'll meet with them first, and then set up another day. So then it gives time to see if there's any reactions to us showing up, and sometimes there is. So that kind of helps us get a better idea of what's going on. So we try to come in with an open mind and help them. Go ahead.
I have a feeling that Jake's going to end up listening to this episode, and then he's going to be like, we got to have them back on because I didn't get to ask them any questions. Jake is our he's a Christian guy, so he looks at all the unknowns and everything that we talk about through the Christian viewpoint. So this was an episode that he was looking forward to being on, but unfortunately he had to do something. What kind of reactions do you get specifically when you read off Bible verses? Is what are you looking for? And then let's also hear about some of your strongest reactions. And then I also want to know, sorry, I'm piling them all up on you, but I want to make sure I get them out because I'm going to lose track of them. I want to know, how often do you get a response to a Bible verse?
Well, we had a case one
Rob,
time.
You, me.
Yeah, I just want to say this one case real quick. Is we had a case one time where a woman was getting scratched all over her body, marks and whatnot. And I told Art, I think I told you about this before. Art kind of laid me what to do. And we run around the house and with an EMF detector, which stands for electronic magnetic fields, basically just kind of checking the areas. And we weren't getting no baseline readings at all on anything. Nothing was working. Cory, were you with me on this one?
No.
Okay.
It was before me.
This might have been before you. Yeah, it might have been before you. And so we're looking.
This was BC.
Yeah, so nothing came up. And it's like, okay, so when we got there, went over everything, and then I said, well, let's have a seat, talk some more. So we had a seat, and I said, do you have a Bible? She said, yeah. I'm like, okay. So can you take it out? Now, if she has a Bible, then I have an idea that she kind of knows how to read it, So she pulled the Bible out, and I said, can you do me a favor? Can you read? I picked somewhere in the Bible. I said, can you read this? And she started stuttering through the words of the Bible. Then I was like, you okay? She goes, yeah, I'm just kind of, not feeling so great. I'm like, okay, all right. We'll try a little harder. He goes, yeah. So she went a little bit more into it. And then I said, okay, I'm going to read it. So I started reading it. And then right away, she was like, get out of my house, F you, get the hell out. Time to go. Started yelling and everything. the husband's like there, stay. I'm like, okay, all right, cool, we'll stay. And then once out in the living room, I ran to the bathroom and I'm calling the Reverend, because we work with a Reverend out of Madison sometimes. And I called the Reverend and I said, hey, we got something going on over here. I don't know what it is. So he was asking some questions and whatnot. The Reverend came, I believe the next day, came and did an exorcism on her. And she's been okay ever since. But Art and I have been to a few exorcisms where we've been sent over to assist the Reverend before. And Cory's you've been to one, right, Cory? Or two?
Right. I was with one.
Yeah. Yeah, the one.
Mm-hmm.
That was interesting. Because remember it was she was trying to blame COVID
Yeah, me and Sarah went there to you guys called us in to assist, and it was a woman. She lived there with her dog, and the I can't remember exactly what she was saying she was experiencing, but I know she had said, I'm a dog person. I don't know if you can hear my dogs in the background, but whatever was there was messing with her dog. And as we had a priest. What was his name?
Well, it was
who was
Reverend
your
Michaels.
Ron? Reverend Michaels. He was doing the exorcism, and we were there to witness and if we had to restrain her at all. And the dog was in the other room, and you could hear something messing with that dog. Like, it wasn't with her. It was like going into the room, and it was an older dog.
Well, the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now. You call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Limited time 50% off regular price for new customers. Upfront payment required. $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds may slow after 50 gigabytes per month when network is busy. See terms.
Disney Plus wants to know, are you ready? For Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts, The New Avengers. Now streaming on Disney Plus.
Let's do this.
One of the best Marvel movies of all time is now streaming on Disney Plus.
Hey, you weren't listening to me.
I said Thunderbolts, The New Avengers is now streaming on Disney Plus.
Meet the New Avengers.
That's a cool name. Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts, The New Avengers. Rated PG-13. Now streaming on, you guessed it, Disney Plus.
And it was just like, you could just hear it going back and forth. Like, she would start talking weird, and then the dog would start whimpering, like somebody was hitting it or something. And the Reverend, he did his prayers. He did the rites of the exorcism, like the small, shorter version, whatever that is. And she started feeling better. And as far as I know, I don't think she's called back at all. We think that it must have worked. Another case that we had, we don't know exactly what was there. There's this woman, she was in the military, her and her roommate, and she was having things move around her house. She was seeing shadows. There were sounds, like somebody was messing with her dogs, like toys. The cameras were being moved. And while we were there doing an investigation, I was heading to the restroom, and I heard, as soon as I turned into this hallway, I had a growl in my ear. And I asked Ron to, I just stopped in my tracks. I was like, Ron, I said, hit me with the holy water right now. And it stopped. But that after, I didn't hear anything else. I never made it to the bathroom. It scared me so bad. And but that night it followed home another one of our investigators. She started having nightmares. She was getting scratched, and it took a long time. I don't know if she's ever really gotten away from it. And my other friend Sarah, that the one that I went to Gettysburg with, me and her had did the interview for this woman, and it too followed her home, and it was affecting her dreams. She had gotten some scratches. There was things starting to move around. I don't know why it didn't follow me. I don't know if it's because, I was like, hit me with that holy water or what, but it didn't follow me. But my friend Sarah claims that she still sees it out of the corner of her eyes here and there.
Yeah, that was wild. And actually, we ended up talking to a medium. Remember, Sarah? Remember, Cory? We ended up talking to a medium, and we went on that Google Images or Google Maps, and you can actually see the people in the windows, the spirit in the windows, the male, and then the little boy in the wheelchair. It's crazy. I wish I could find that photo somewhere. But
it was like when the house was put up for sale, you could see the shadows.
What were you going to say, Art?
So,
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I don't know. Jeremy was just asking how we do the past provoking stuff, and it's not. Ron kind of gave a Reader's Digest version, which works. The nice everyone goes, well, so you automatically believe everything's demonic? No. You can ask Ron. You can ask anyone that's been in his group a long time. I'm the most skeptical person in the world. It's like, you have to prove it to me before I'm going to say, yeah, this is demonic. But there's different things we can do. The past provoking is one. I usually, with the EMF or any of those kind of tools, if every house is going to have some kind of EMF field in it, whether it's from appliances, whatever. But if it's completely dead, and you got a working EMF meter, it's completely dead, even if you go up to an outlet or the light on the stove or microwave, and there's nothing there, that's a good indication something's trying to hide from you. Also, when you read the Bible verses, I always have audio recorder, someone following me around with an audio recorder, because you can't always hear stuff right away either. Everyone always assumes that with a demon, it's a deep growl noise. A lot of times it's actually, the best way I describe it, I call it a witch's cackle. It's very high pitched. So you'll get that. You can get a growl. Most of the time it's like the witch's cackle. And there's one time things can be moved that you don't notice. Ron knows, I think I told him this one. I was looking into a case for a church. And it was me and a guy who I used to work with in Waukesha, Luis. And we're passive provoking. And I usually, when I go out, I wear a cross necklace. And so we're going around passive provoking. We didn't hear anything. And we're cleaning up our gear. And all of a sudden, Luis turns white as a ghost. And I'm like, you okay? He goes, look at your necklace. And I go to grab my necklace and it ain't there. I'm like, what the? It's actually wrapped around my belt loops. I never took my belt off. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So we might have something here.
Weird.
So it's not automatic. It's not like a 5-minute thing. I feel like Jeff's over there going, sure. But it's not a 5-minute thing. This takes time to nail these things down.
Yeah.
Jeff is sleepy.
No, it's just, I'm not even skeptical of, I've said this before on the show, I'm not skeptical that the things are happening, I guess. I'm just more, I think I have a bigger problem with, it's like a semantic issue for me, right? Like using the word demonic, right? Or using the word spirit even, like anything like that, you automatically, like going back to what Cory was saying, like we have no idea what this is, and we probably never will know what this is, right? We could speculate forever. And when we start slapping certain labels on things, like it just gives like this idea of what this is. And I think that's the issue that I have, right? I do think people are having all kinds of experiences and spooky shit is definitely happening. And I do believe in, like, call it evil entities, right? Demonic entities, if you will. So yeah. I think it's all happening. It's just, it's hard for me to, all of my experiences for any of this stuff is what's on Discovery Channel, right? So that's what you get.
You know, the flip side of this.
Well, it's understandable, and I always tell people, is that Ron talking?
No, go ahead, Art. Go ahead.
I always tell people, I don't expect them to believe or understand what I do or what we do. And most people won't until you experience something yourself, which I hope you never do. But, you know, and that may change your mind, it may not. I mean, I've had several people over the years who I've known personally, and they used to just needle me all the time, thinking I'm just a crackpot and everything else. And then all of a sudden they're running to me going, hey, you know, you need to come over to my house. I think you got a ghost chair. And I go, I'd be a smartass about it. I'd go, hey, you don't believe in ghosts, remember? There's no such thing. So if as long as you're not going to, you know, poo-poo what we do, I'm not going to tell you you're right or wrong either, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, listen, I'm the hardcore conspiracy guy, right? Like, I'm the first one to go super deep on, like, shit that you would probably call me crazy in an instant for.
It's true.
No, for real. Like, I'll go, you'll be like, wow, get this guy off here. But, and again, it's not that I don't think shit's happening. I mean, I've had an experience before. I've talked to Jeremy about this. You know, I had a nightmare once, and in that nightmare, there was like a 6 foot tall, call it like a gray alien, but just super scary, like a monster, right? Tall, skinny, gray alien monster type thing. And it got right in my face, right? And it was chasing kids out of a door, and I tried to shut the door behind these kids, and it burst through the door, got in my face. I wake up, and everything is normal. I'm like, holy shit, that was a crazy dream. And in that moment, I felt like a weird tugging on the bottom of the blanket by my foot. And I was like, oh shit, let me sit up to see what this is. And I couldn't move. And then I woke up again, and everything was in the exact same position, and like everything was fine. And I was like, whoa, like that was the craziest thing that's ever happened.
6 foot and gray. Are you sure that wasn't Al Gore?
Great segue. Not the Al Gore thing, but great segue. Cory, you said that one of your first experiences was with a shadow person, correct?
Correct.
Now, shadow people are one of the more common cases when it comes to the paranormal on a wide range of, you know, people, right? It's kind of to blend Jeff's story and Cory, your experience, and I'm sure Ron and Arthur have probably had their run-ins with shadow people or the Hat Man, or even. But where I'm going with this is sleep paralysis and the story of the old hag, or the as you know, when you get into religion or even ancient, you're starting to get into the incubus and the succubus side of things. Now, a lot of lore ties the incubus and the succubus in with the old hag, or, you know, just the gray shadowy figure that you see with the sleep paralysis phenomenon. You know, like Jeff woke up, he wasn't able to move. That is a common symptom with sleep paralysis. It's right there in the name. And one of the most common things that you see visually in sleep paralysis is a shadowy figure. Sometimes it sits on your chest and creates a feeling of your chest being sunken in and closing in on your airwaves. Now, Jeff, I'm just saying, like, I mean, sleep paralysis comes in many different shapes, sizes, and forms, man. There's really not a lot, and it seems to have a cultural effect, right? Like the old hag is a.
Well, I don't even think it was a shadow person, because like.
Well, no, because you said you were up and moving with it in your dream.
In
correct?
The dream, I saw this thing, and I could tell you in vivid detail, like its skin texture and the veins and the, you know, like the oiliness on the skin. Like it was clearly defined figure. It was like a fucking monster, you know.
So believe it or not, right? Now I know Slender Man is a digital urban legend, right? That is technically not in existence. It is something that is brought upon to our beliefs and lore now by way of, what is it, 4chan or Reddit, right? It's one of those modern technologies that brought this thing on, creepypasta, if you will. But even that, if you go back, right, and even if you go forward in time, some people will even tell you that it's a tulpa and that it now exists because we talk about it so much.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have the stories of you have the old the nursery rhyme or the song Peter Piper,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where Peter would go out into the street with his pipe and play it, and all the kids would follow him through the streets, and they would follow him right into the water, and they drown. Well, there's actual historical evidence and records of something similar like that happening at one point, which I did cover in my Slenderman episode that I did. Now, that right there, Jeff, is a tall, slender person chasing children. Then you have Smiling Sam, which is a Native American lore, also a tall, slender person that targets children. Slenderman, tall, slender person that targets children. These are just 3 examples of a very common trope throughout history, time, and location throughout the entire planet of this being a thing. Now, what you saw may feel unique, but it's not, right? But I'm not saying it's not something that's not tangible. Like, that could be something. That's what I'm trying to get to, is that there's all these phenomenon that happen. And I was going to get to whether or not they believe that something like what you experienced could be something tied into what Cory experienced with Shadow Man, or something that they've received reports upon.
Yeah, would that be something you guys would investigate?
It would be something that I would, because it actually hits home. I have another story that's actually even closer to Jeff's. When I was 8 months pregnant with my son, this was about 12 and a half years ago. I'd went to bed early. I had my back to the door. I heard my husband come down the hallway, walk into the bedroom, felt him get into the bed, and move right up behind me. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I was like, ooh, I'm gonna get some. You know? And then all of a sudden, I couldn't move.
Oh my God.
I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. And I knew it wasn't him.
Paralysis.
In my mind's I don't claim to be psychic or anything like that. I'm not. But I had a picture of what this was, and it was like the Hat Man, but I could see him in colored form. And he had a huge grin. And like, I was in full panic. And then all of a sudden I could speak. I couldn't move yet, but I could speak. And I said, "What do you want?" And it said, "Your baby." And poof, it was gone, and I could move. I screamed and cried, and my husband then ran into the room to see if I was okay. And I've never had sleep paralysis before, and I've never had it since then.
So there's a really, really weird phenomenon that occurs. And for a while there, it was getting wrongfully mixed in with another story, the story of Injured Cold, which is a completely different thing. Injured Cold was given and therefore adopted the nickname the Grinning Man, but it was wrongfully labeled onto him. But the the bulk of the Grinning Man stories just happened to come around roughly at the same time, a little bit after the Indrid Cold and Woody Derenberger stories. But the typical Grinning Man story is exactly what you're talking about, Cory. Now, a lot of people, when they talk about the Grinning Man, they tend to just audible right into Indrid Cold. And I'm putting this more out for the listeners. We've talked about Indrid Cold ad nauseum on this podcast, and we've already kind of explained this before, but Indrid Cold is not the Grinning Man. Grinning Man is not Indrid Cold. They are completely separate entities. And I only say that because every time we talk about Indrid Cold or the Grinning Man, somebody messages me and says, "Hey, you forgot to mention this." No, I did not. Okay, just knock it off. So I'm talking about the Grinning Man, not Indrid Cold. Anybody that wants to message me, you're wrong. But the Grinning Man, the phenomenon of the Grinning Man, is exactly what you just described. Now, about the only thing new that I heard from your story compared to every other instance of the Grinning Man was the baby thing.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard that, but the sleep paralysis, waking up at the foot of your bed, grinning over your body, verbal communications, all of that. Very, very Grinning Man. Very interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Where were you in the country?
Union Grove, Wisconsin, which is just west of Racine. The whole apartment. Okay, there was this. I'm conflicted about if cemeteries are haunted or not, but Union Grove Cemetery during the day is so benign. At night is crazy. But my apartment, it was in an apartment building, and the cemetery was butted up right to it. I mean, like 10 feet behind the back door, there's a cemetery. And yeah, this is my ex-husband that I was living with at the time. He had an autistic son, and he was nonverbal, but he would chatter. And he would look at there was a specific corner, and he would just stare up at the corner and just chatter. Like, he would answer, and there was nobody there. He'd be like, yeah, and it's like, we're like, who are you talking to? And then he would just kind of like refocus.
The world moves fast. Your workday, even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use. Helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize. So you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.
I had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire an energy vampire. But also they're a literal vampire. And suddenly my team is spending all their time sharpening wooden stakes and buying bulk silver and rehearsing ancient chants, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant takes insights from over 1 billion professionals to create a short list of the best fits for you. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
How many discounts does USAA Auto Insurance offer? Too many to say here. Multi-vehicle discount, safe driver discount, new vehicle discount, storage discount, legacy.
How many discounts will you stack up? Tap the banner or visit USAA.com/auto discounts. Restrictions apply.
And it was just, and I had seen shadows run across. My husband used to think it was funny to scare me as I was coming out of the bathroom because it was like around a hallway, and so he would hide on the side. Yeah. Great guy. And and one day I was like, I snuck out of the bathroom after a shower. I peeked around the corner and I thought it was him run from the living room into the kitchen. And so I'm like, oh, I got you. So I run into one of the side bedrooms and I'm waiting there and waiting and waiting. And he never comes down the hallway. And finally I yelled to him, I'm like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, watching TV. I'm like, oh. So, I was like, I swore I saw you, run across, the living room, but no. And it was just like that all the time there. I've been wanting to go back there, like, and just see if anybody else has had experiences while living there. But I don't want to think I'm crazy.
That's pretty interesting. I mean, I've always kind of like theorized that people with autism or just on any of these spectrum, I don't even want to call them disorders because I don't necessarily think they are disorders. I think that they're more like you're tuning into different frequencies, right? You might be, you might have been more in tune with whatever frequencies that are, that thing's broadcasting on, right? Or whatever, wherever, like you said, something earlier about maybe the energy was like imprinted, right? In this loop, this time loop of some kind, right? It's like, and I talk a lot about like holographic universe things, and that makes perfect sense there, where like the energies of something can imprint into the information field, right? And then somebody that's on the spectrum might be able to tune into that information field in a different way than you or I, and actually see or interact with these things better. That's pretty
I
interesting.
mean, the paranormal, I mean, it's infinite. I mean, it could be anything. I mean, it's like what Jeremy was saying. I mean, just rabbit holes after rabbit holes.
Love it. Love it. Arthur, let's bring you back in. Let's go back to Ed and Lorraine Warren. So I need the opinion piece. Because this is probably one of the most hotly debated topics, and I'm sure you've been asked this a million times. So I'm gonna make it 1,000,001. What are your thoughts on Ed and Lorraine Warren? Are they real or are they not?
I need to preface that with Lorraine has helped me a lot. She's mentored me. So keeping that in mind, everything I've seen of Lorraine, talking to her and stuff like that, she's the real deal. I know she's got her skeptics out there. I haven't even watched it. There's something new going around the internet now where somebody's trying to, tear their legacy down now.
I mean, they've been doing that for years.
Yeah, it's really gotten ramped up to the point where somebody's trying to get legal action against them to stop their museum from whatever.
Really?
Yeah. So I think they're the real deal. I honestly only met Ed once for a very short period, so I don't know him that well. Lorraine I've met twice, but talked to her on the phone many times. Very sweet lady. I think she's very genuine. For the religious people out there, she is very religious. They both are. So I think she's the real deal. But again, with the movies coming out, and you're always going to get your skeptics. That's their opinions. I mean, again, I don't try to make people believe stuff they're not going to believe. But as far as I'm concerned, she's the real deal.
That's a good point. The movies, I try to catch myself when I can on the show, and try to keep the audience up, because I try to remember that not everybody listening to this is going to know who Ed and Lorraine Warren are. Please fill in the gaps for me here, but my best recollection of who Ed and Lorraine Warren are, they are probably one of, if not the most famous paranormal investigators of modern times, at least. And there has been many high-budget Hollywood movies made after some of their famous cases, including the Amityville Horror, Annabelle, The Conjuring, I'm drawing a blank on a couple others, but I know that I believe they even did investigations into the Enfield horror over in England, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot. I mean, how many? Do you have any idea how many movies are made out of their investigations? It's got to be.
Actually, I've lost track because
it's got to be double digits, right?
It is, but I think once you got past the Conjuring House movies, I think the producers just saw dollar signs and just, excuse my French, but started making crap up.
Oh no, absolutely, 100%, 100%, yes, yeah. I think that there's definitely a grain of salt to take with the Hollywood movies, and I think that's something that a lot of people take into consideration when they're, I hate to say it, but when they're judging Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yeah, and you're right. They are the most famous. I think the only reason why, well, I shouldn't say the only reason, because, but with the advent of, better telecommunications and everything, with the advent of the internet, because way before that, there was, do you know what Hans Holzer is?
Nope.
He's like the original ghost hunter, and he actually had I call her a spiritualist that he used to connect with the other side, and a lot of interesting stories. I mean, any of your listeners want to pick his books up, you're only going to find them like in half-price books or used bookstores now because they're so old. But he's got some interesting stories. He's got some interesting cases he did.
Yeah, the TV show, The Holzer Files.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Who did that? I'm trying to think of who did that.
What's his name out of Minnesota?
I've been reading Hans Holzer's books since I got into this. And it's not so much for they are entertaining, but when I first started this, you got to remember they didn't have all this equipment. We were using the big VHS cameras that you put on your shoulder, and dusting the floor with flour and mopping it up the next day. The big old cassette recorders, stuff like that. So any help we could get. I mean, I read his books just trying to get some ideas on how to do things.
What's the best Hans Holzer book?
Oh, you're going to hate me for this because there's no way most people can pick it up because it's big. It's his coffee table book, and I can't think of the name of it. But the thing is huge. Actually, hold on a second. I'll be right back. I can actually show it to you.
Sweet.
I still got it.
I'm going to find it on eBay.
Yeah, Dave Schrader. He's been on Coast to Coast AM.
Jeremy can't do one episode without buying a book.
I can't. I think
Didn't he start like the white noise run? Do you remember?
What's that?
Didn't he start like with the white noise?
Oh yeah,
using
like
that.
The movie. What was it called?
Not like the movie, but
I know, but what I'm talking, right? The one where they start doing EVPs. Ah, man.
No, I mean actually using the white noise, like for investigation, like radio frequencies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, could be. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, EVPs can be interesting too.
There's some.
I sent you one from my house.
A lot of books.
Actually, Jimmy.
I don't know if you can read that or not.
Hold on.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. It's right here.
It's hardcover.
Where is it? I just seen it.
It's called Ghost. It says Haunted Places, Haunted Houses, Haunted People by Hans Holzer.
Only comes in hardcover, huh?
Well, that's the way mine is, but look how thick this thing is.
I want to ask a question that I think Jake would ask if he was here. This is for you, Jake.
Is this the one?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
do it.
This is the famous question that we always bring up when we talk about these types of things. And maybe we just don't know about them, but how come it doesn't seem like there's any cases of like the hipster who died because his vape exploded, or like the guy who's just like walking across the street.
Love it.
Like it seems like a lot of these things happen either in like spooky places or spooky situations. It's never just like Frank just bit the dust, you know.
Believe it or not, they might still be around, and here's a physics answer to that. A lot of people, in fact, some physicist I know says that's what they think, but they won't say it in public because they don't want to ruin their reputation. Energy never goes away.
Right.
It just transforms to different forms of energy. So when the body dies, that energy goes somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, and if you believe a lot of people, the very, very, very hardcore Christians believe there's nobody in heaven right now. Heaven will get filled up when the rapture happens. That's when God will draw everybody to heaven. So basically, if you think about it, everyone's just wandering around. Some people want to communicate, some people don't.
I wonder what Jake would say about that.
Creepy areas, or however you said it, that goes a little deeper into another rabbit hole, American Indians. We believe, I'm quarter American Indian, and we believe the earth is energy. And it's been beat up and abused for so long. There's curses, Indian curses. Indian burial mounds have been disturbed, which can cause problems. Even digging a basement is considered a wound to the earth. So that's where you get some of your spooky places from. Others are just natural magnets. Do you know what ley lines are?
Oh yeah, yep. I get into like geomancy and ley lines and all that kind of stuff a lot. Yeah,
and ley lines is like a paranormal highway, just like rivers are and stuff like that.
Right, for sure.
Where it'll take that. And I'm not saying that they're going to bring ghosts about like in Ghostbusters. I'm just saying that energy that transformed from a human's body, that's easier ways for it to get around, kind of like fiber optics for us communicating.
Sure. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That tracks. I'm with that explanation.
Sorry.
You go ahead, Ron.
What?
Okay. Art, didn't you say one time, I think I read about too, like when somebody dies, I mean, they've weighed the bodies before they died and after they died, and it's like 10 pounds lighter, or not?
Yeah, that was an old experiment. God, I can't remember who did that.
But it's true.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it was true, but I mean, it was very minuscule, but yeah, it was true.
Yeah, but I've heard arguments about that, like, you know, when your bodily functions cease, you know, like the release of methane and like, you know, you shit yourself, you know, like.
Actually, I don't think that's true. I was a EMT for 20 years. Saw a lot of death. I've never seen anyone defecate or
not even a fart.
If they've been dead a long time, possibly, but usually it's exhaling gas out of their lungs.
Sure.
No, I guess it all depends.
That'll freak you out when you're moving a dead body and all of a sudden you hear. That'll make you crap your pants.
We had just talked about this. Was it the last episode we did? I think, Jeff, where because we were talking about we've been talking more about quantum mechanics lately, and how physics really breaks down at the quantum levels and stuff, and I was breaking down the energies and how, you know, everything's either an energy or a mass, and how you could change forms. One's usually a lot quicker than the other, right? Changing from a mass to an energy is very fast, but changing from energy to a mass is very slow. So when you burn a log, right, you burn trees or a piece of wood, the energy that's created off of it, the log just doesn't disappear. It gets created, it turns into soot, which is also just a form of matter, but also gives off energy in a form of heat and other things that we can't perceive. that doesn't disappear. It exists. It lives there. It doesn't ever go away. Matter cannot be created nor destroyed. Neither can energy. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. But there is that second part of those sayings that people tend to always forget. Cannot be created nor destroyed, but can change form. Right. So we are physical beings. Right. We can touch ourselves. Right. But can we touch our consciousness? Can we touch our soul? We've gone through many hypothetical experiments on the show where, we talk about the concept of exchanging consciousness between two subjects. And we're not going to dive into that right now, but just know that we have talked about that before.
So is the CIA, by the way. We have the documents to show it.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. What was that?
The gateway process. And others. Jeff. And others. But anyways, so I had brought up the idea to the guys last time we recorded. I said, what do you guys think about, when we die? What do you guys think about, our consciousness just escapes us and it just goes? I mean, because it's not a physical thing. It's not like you can just hold it in your hand. You can't hold it, right? Because technically, I mean, if you grab a slice of brain matter and the meat off of the palm of your hand, the DNA, the building blocks or whatever is technically the same. Yes, brain meat is referred to as gray matter, and the meat in your palm is referred as muscle. But when it comes down to biologics and the building blocks and the proteins used, they're very, very similar, if not exactly the same. So we know that we can't go to the grocery store and buy a steak that's wrapped up in plastic and give it consciousness. You can't do that, but your brain can. Your brain does do that. So that lends to believe that there's something special about the material that the brain is made out of. It is less dense, and it does have the neural pathways, a neural superhighway, and it we even got into what is the most dense animal brains on the planet when it comes to neurons per square inch or whatever, right? We were talking about all that and stuff too. What if the actual material of the brain itself is created to be a form of box where a soul cannot escape? And the neurons, the electrical surges and pathways that are constantly firing off in your brains is used as a sort. I think Jake called it a Faraday cage incorrectly, but I knew what he was talking about. It's kind of creating like an electric fence, if you will, for a soul. And then you get into the phenomenon of near-death experiences, right? People die for small periods of time, and they report being able to see the scene of their death, being able to give descriptions of minute details such as the color wristwatch of the guy who was trying to give life-saving CPR to them while they were pulled out of their car.
They always tell you there's a catch, a compromise, an asterisk. Terms apply. See store for details. May be less than advertised. May vary by mood. Probably. Sprite Zero Sugar? It's different. It's the lemon lime flavored refreshment you want with zero sugar. So, no fast voice? No caveats. just refreshment. This is Sprite Zero Sugar. Obey your thirst.
After being T-boned by a car that was going 70 miles an hour. I mean, some of the details that people are able to give during their NDEs are incredible. But we only have those when we have what's called a clinical death, when the neurons fail and we no longer are sending electrical signals through our brains. A clinical death is not when your heart stops; it's when your brain stops. Mm-hmm. When your brain stops sending those signals. People are reporting this. Then your body comes back online. The electricity in your brain somehow, I don't know if it's somehow there's some sort of imprint in it where it automatically recalls your soul back into it. But there's been tons of, I wouldn't necessarily say historical evidence or records, because we're kind of getting into hypotheticals when it comes to word of mouth stories and stuff. You're talking about back before written records of people reanimating bodies, having the ability to that have been dead for a few days, nothing more than a few days, but coming back and having the same consciousness as they did when they died. Now you're talking about a brain that has been without oxygen for multiple days, and that doesn't seem medically possible from a modern standpoint. But let's say it was able to happen and that person came back and had the same consciousness and was able to give you a story similar to those that talk about NDEs. How strong of a case does that have? I mean, it's some actually very fascinating stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just okay.
And it's one of those things that you can't prove, you can't disprove. Everyone's experience is their own, and it's like, even with like our evidence, like our pictures and stuff, people post pictures of what they feel is like ghosts or orbs and stuff like that. And to everyone else, it's like, no, no, that's fake. It's pareidolia, whatever. And, but to them, it's very real. So who's to say it's not? We weren't there, and we have one little picture. We got one little story, whatever. I mean, it's real to them, and that's really what matters,
Yeah. No, it's definitely interesting. I'm very curious as to see what people are seeing. I mean, I've seen some pretty weird shit in my life, right? It's the whole reason why I'm into all this stuff, because I've been told throughout my young life that I didn't see what I saw, and go grab a football kid, go do normal kid stuff. And I see all these people that say that they've had these experiences and everything, and I know my story's true. I know what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
So there has to be some other truth out there. I've never seen a spirit or a ghost, but enough people have come forward saying that they have, that there's got to be some sort of weird phenomenon going on that requires some sort of looking into. I'm happy you guys are doing it. So that's cool.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And also it's fulfilling too when we go to a person's house, and they're scared. I mean, they don't know what's going on, and if we can go there and just listen to them, I mean, a lot of times we can just debunk it, and it's like, no, this is what's happening. You got raccoons in your attic or something, I mean, it could be anything, and, to write down, all the way down to, we've also have done clearings and, blessings to the homes too. It's like whatever it takes. to make them feel better and hopefully, gather evidence to, if there is something really going on. I mean, a lot of people, on TV, it looks like, there's just nonstop evidence, there's knocks, there's yells, there's all this stuff going on. And unfortunately, that's really not the case, It's a lot of time, we're sitting in a room talking to the thin air, and
eating peanut butter cups.
yeah, right, drinking Mountain Dew, and
Shit, there's peanut butter cups.
Right.
Always.
I might come haunt you guys for peanut butter cups.
Right.
I
was going to mention this because I think who's the other guy's name? Jake. That's not here.
Yeah.
He might be upset that he missed it, but I'm sure he'll watch it. Ron knows this story. They said sometimes they get sent by the church, other groups, whatever. And we got sent by the church to this house. It was in Milwaukee County. I won't give names and details, but this lady was a nurse. She had back surgery, and she was out of work, so her and her 21-year-old son moved back in with her mom. And she had called the church because she thought her son got a possession. So they sent us out. What we do is, like Ron was saying, we separate them, and then we talk to them. We have questions we ask. We ask the same questions to everybody, separated, and then we mix the answers together, and somewhere in the middle find the truth. So we interview both of them, and the guy who's with me, he's doing baselines on the house, and he's just about finished, and all of a sudden the mom comes home. She wasn't home. Sweet little old lady. She's about 4'8". She's got a car full of groceries. So we're nice. We can help you with the groceries. She's thanking us and everything. And then I got the idea. I go, can I ask you some questions? Since you're here, she goes, oh, sure. She's real nice. She sits down across from me from her dining room table. I go through all the questions with her. She's answering them. Sounds like a sweet little old lady. So I'm writing down the last couple notes, and she goes, well, what happens now? I'm like, well, we'll go through the answers, and we'll determine what we can do to help out here. I did not hear her move. I did not see her move. I look up, and she is nose to nose with me, hands and knees on the table, in a deep voice going, what makes you think you can help what's going on here? You've never seen me move so fast in my life.
Jeez. That's
wow. And unfortunately, we believe it was the mom who was possessed, because I made a report. They gave it to the church. Didn't hear anything back, so I called them. I go, hey, whatever happened with so-and-so's? They can't get a hold of the daughter and the son. They found out from someone else. They did move out that same day. Within a week, the house burnt down with grandma in it.
Oh,
wow.
She didn't crawl on the ceiling?
So,
like on the movie Legion?
Huh?
She didn't crawl on the ceiling like the movie Legion?
No, she didn't crawl. Like I said, I wasn't prepared for it. Because I've never, and honestly, I did not hear her get on the table or didn't even hear her move. And all of a sudden, she's just nose to nose with me. She's kneeling on the table.
Well, I remember the time when I was discussing that case. I remember when we were discussing the case together. It was the first time meeting you. And we're going over this case, and you're at work, and your candy jar goes flying across the room.
That wasn't mine. That was the guy I shared the office with. He was a little mad.
Oh, oops.
Yeah, we're discussing a demonic case, and I share an office with a guy. We worked in the warehouse offices, and he sat behind me. He wasn't there because I worked the night shift. He works day. Yeah, I'm talking to Ron, and also this candy jar just flies past my hand and smashes on the wall. That's another good indication that it's something that might be demonic.
On the flip side of this, guys, on the flip side is that we helped a lot of people reconnect with ones that have passed on in positive ways. We actually received a donation from a family and bought some gear with it, actually. Probably about 8 years ago. She wanted to connect with her father because she she didn't communicate with her father much, so she wanted to reconnect with her father. And we reminded them, it's we believe it works what we do, but we're gonna leave it up to you. I'll let you decide whether if the voices that are coming through are our spirit box or whatnot, if it's really him, And she said it is, and questions were asked, and he answered them, and she was very grateful. And we told her, "It's like, you don't have to owe us anything. We don't charge. That's not our thing." But she insisted, and it was, we just put her right back into the group. So we've been at numerous cases have happened. I mean, I've had relatives come through before. You just never know what's going to happen in some of these,
Mm-hmm.
But
like Cory was saying too, even if we just debunk something, at least you're making them comfortable in their house again.
Yeah.
Simple. I think Ron knows about this one. It was actually in the city I grew up with. This older couple called us. They just bought a house. The house was completely remodeled by the former owners. And the only thing they had is they swear they had a ghost because they said it follows them down the hallway when they go to bed. I'm like, okay, why do you think it follows you down the hallway? Because right after we go down the hall, we can hear steps coming down the hallway. All right, so we didn't even have to do an investigation on that one. We're doing our baselines, me and I think it was Jared. I know Ron met Jared before. Mm-hmm. And we walked down the hallway, and sure enough, it sounds like footsteps coming down the hallway. So it was the lights were on, but I just took a flashlight and turned it on. There's a hall closet with sliding doors. And when they remodeled it, they never put the guide back at the bottom. So when you walk past it, the inside door just flexes a little bit.
Yeah.
And then they hit each other sounding like steps. So, we told her that, and she goes, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "I'll tell you what." I go, "Do you know where that slide is?" She goes, "Well, I think she found it was in a drawer." I actually put it in for her. I go, "Give me a call in a week. Let me know if you're still in." She called. She's apologizing. Goes, "Oh, we feel so stupid." I'm like, "Hey, are you more comfortable in your house now?" She's like, "Yeah." I go, "Then we did our job."
That's what's important. Yeah. No, that's good stuff. Good. I like that. That's a good story. That's a really good one. I like that a lot.
And there's a lot of them. And I don't know if Cory mentioned the raccoons because I don't know if you knew my story, Cory, about the raccoons. I think Ron knows this. There's a real rich neighborhood in Waukesha County. Family just built the house. And they've only been in like 2 months, and they call us because they hear scratching on their bedroom wall. So we go there, we interview the couple, very, very expensive, rich couple. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do baselines, and we're hearing the scratch. I'm like, go to Luis. I'm like, "Hey, listen to this." And it does sound like scratching on the wall. So we go in the hallway, and we're looking around. There's like this little half door. And I asked the husband, I go, "What's this door for?" He goes, "Well, I think it's just storage behind the bedroom." Back then, I was a lot quicker, thank God. I opened the door, and there's a family of raccoons in there that just came charging at me. I slammed the door shut, and I go, "You got raccoons?" I go, call a animal expert. They go, "Well, can't you take care of them?" I go, "I'll take care of the dead. I don't deal with animals." And within 2 months of them moving in, a family of raccoons got up there, and we're just nesting away.
That's awesome.
And they were so mad at us because we wouldn't get rid of their raccoons. And nope, sorry.
not much you can do about that. Like, nah.
Exactly.
Not messing with that.
I'll throw some holy water on them, but I don't think that's gonna work.
Probably drink it.
They're just gonna.
Probably.
All right. We're gonna go ahead and wrap her up. Jeff is falling asleep. It is way past his bedtime. He is so tuckered out. Look at him. So go ahead and we might have to. I have a feeling Jake's gonna want to do part 2. Go ahead and share all your socials, your projects, everything and anything where we can get one of them sweet t-shirts from. Let us know it all. Arthur, I bought the book.
Awesome. Awesome. You won't need to lift weights anymore when you're reading that thing. It's big.
I've I've got some over here that I'll give it a run for its money.
And do us a favor when you talk to Jay, tell him send our condolences to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, he's going through that right now.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll listen, he'll hear it, and then I'll pass it on to him as well. But
thank you, I appreciate that.
For sure. Go ahead and share websites, share social media, share upcoming events, share whatever you guys want to share right now, individually as together. Anything, go for it. It is your mic for as long as you want it. Go for it.
All right, you can check us out on Facebook, Racine Paranormal Investigators. Feel free to search that. Also, Wisconsin Paranormal Radio. We'll be back jumping on there very soon. And then our website is www.racineparanormalinvestigators.com. We don't have a merch store yet. We're working on that. That's coming up. And then in the fall, we'll be having Bell City Paracon once again. We'll be working with a couple teams, U.S. Paranormal Researchers and the Realm Paranormal team and podcasts. So we'll be working with them. We like to network with other groups. We have that going on. Of course, we go live time to time. So we always have something kind of going on. But we also do a lot of investigations at Shaker Cigar Bar in Milwaukee, and that can be a whole nother show that we can talk about. That's a very, very interesting place. It's up in Milwaukee off 2nd Street. It was once a brothel house and also a hideout for the Al Capone family. They once owned it. So we can talk about that anytime. We're there all the time. We'll make announcements about, hosting something or being there to investigate. So, but
we actually just had a guest on about a month ago who interviewed the owner.
Oh, Bob Weiss.
No. Yeah, she interviewed Bob.
Excuse me.
She's the host of Backwoods Paranormal. Backwoods or Darkwoods Paranormal? Darkwoods Paranormal, Raven Knight. We were talking about and we saw pictures of her doing her interview with him. It was pretty cool. But yeah, absolutely. We could have you back on for that.
Yeah, and if you can't, get Bob on too sometime. Bob is amazing.
Yeah, I could reach out to Bob for sure.
Yeah.
Cory and Arthur, you guys got anything?
No.
I don't. This is going to sound bad. I do have an email set up for if someone needs to get a hold of me for the demonology stuff, but I can't find it. So the easiest way to do that is you can go through Ron. Ron knows all my contact info. So if you need just a demonologist, give me a call. I live in the Sheboygan area. So Sheboygan, Green Bay, Fond du Lac, Oshkosh area. I mean, I'll go anywhere. I'll help out anywhere, but that's typically where it's easy for me to get to. But yeah, you can get a hold of Ron. And then he can get a hold of me. If you need a whole team, you got Ron. And Ron knows how to use me. I know that sounds bad, but
Probably good that you don't remember the email and don't say it on here. If you do, you're going to get some weird messages from some of our listeners.
Oh, believe me, when we first set it up, we got unbelievable amounts of crazy emails.
I don't
know.
know.
You just got to sort through them.
I don't doubt it.
Yep.
All
Thank you
right.
for having us.
Cory, you sure you got nothing?
I have nothing. Contact Ron.
All right. Sounds good.
Smart.
Yeah, man. It's been a pleasure. This was a lot of fun. Jeff, you got anything before we sign off, bud?
Tomorrow night, Shadow Band podcast, 7:00 Eastern on Twitch. Other than that, that's it.
I have one update to give. So I am no longer. I changed the title and the artwork of the new show coming out on July 1st. It is no longer Decoding Reality. We are now officially tying it into Infinite Rabbit Hole. It is now going to be Infinite Rabbit Hole Archives.
Sweet.
It is a solo documentary show. So solo documentaries are coming back, but it will be under a new RSS feed, under the Infinite Rabbit Hole Archives. It will be a bi-weekly show, so every 2 weeks. On July 1st, you can expect to see the first 3 episodes dropped, as well as the first 2 Patreon episodes. That's right. So get ready. Content is coming. More information will come fast now. So be ready, everybody.
I love the green.
That is all. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's very reminiscent, isn't it?
Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you guys for taking time and coming on the show. Ron, I'm happy that we got it worked out, man.
Yes,
this
sir.
is cool. This is a lot of fun.
Let's do it again.
All right. Well,
we're down.
Yeah. Whenever, just reach out to us, and we're more than happy to talk.
Yeah, absolutely. Just give us some time. We have repeat guests come on all the time. We just usually give it a few months and we'll have you back on. But just do me a favor, after the episode, hang tight for a minute. I just gotta make sure that all your audio downloads, and then I'll send you loose. All right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, that has been another episode of the Infinite Rabbit Hole podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Jeremy. Thank you very much, travelers. Next week, we'll see you right here in the next fork in the path of the Infinite Rabbit Hole. Bye, everybody.
Adios.
You guys got to say bye.
Bye.
There it is. Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out the Infinite Rabbit Hole podcast. If you're looking for more of our stuff, head on over to infiniterabbithole.com, where you can find links to all the podcast players that we are available on, and even our video platforms such as TikTok and YouTube. While you're there, make sure to check out all the links for our socials and hit that follow so you know when all the new stuff from our podcast comes out. And until next time, travelers, we'll see you right here in the next fork in the path of the Infinite Rabbit Hole. Bye.